Hi, welcome to Garage CNC. Today I'm going to do a video on max metal. I've been cutting a lot of that stuff here lately, and you know, it is a bear to get going. It took me a while to figure it out, to get the speeds and feeds dialed in, but I finally got it done. There wasn't a whole lot on YouTube, you know. Usually that's my first stop when I start cutting a new material, but not a whole lot out there. So I figured, you know, now that I got it dialed in, I would share some of my tips and tricks. If you haven't messed with max metal, it's aluminum on both sides, polyethylene in the middle. You know, it's real light. Once you get the cuts figured out, it makes a real nice profile. You know, you can get real intricate with it, and again, you can hang it outside in the rain, in the weather. It's kind of weatherproof. Comes in blue and green, silver, black, red, yellow, a multitude of colors. I got some brush gold. That's pretty neat. But anyway, to get these cuts, to get the profile cuts and the interior cuts right, it was a challenge. So let me show you what I came up with, and you know, show you some of my tips and tricks, and hopefully help somebody else in their process. All right, let me show you what I got. So I built the vacuum table a while back, and I found out that it works really good for this stuff. It comes with a protective film on both sides. I leave the film on it, and that film really helps it suck down to the table. So that's the vacuum table itself, and of course, you know, I'll just use that little bitty vacuum there, a little shop vac to power it. This is like a spoil board, so I started out a 1/2 inch thick, and I'll just skim it down as I start getting cuts in it. That's another trick to the max metal is, you know, you got to go all the way through to get a clean cut, get a clean finish. You got to use your spoil board, you know, and go ahead and cut through it, and you know, just skim it down every now and again. I find that I can cut, you know, I don't know, this one here has been going for a while now. You can see all the marks. So I'll let it get about, that's probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 different things I've cut on it, and then I'll just skim a couple thousandths off. The maximum I'm cutting here is 125 thousandths thick. When I cut, I do 130 thousandths. It gives me 5 thousandths play, and that seems to work out real good. Usually I'm running a 1/16 bit, you know, so 60 or what is that, 625 thousandths bit. And I cut all the way through. You know, I do a single pass, and I run about 60 inches a minute. So I mean, that seems real fast for that tiny little bit, but it works really good. I run Precise bits. I use their bits. I like them. They got the depth rings on them. If you haven't used those before, I don't know if you can see it. So they come like this, and that little depth ring is set to the same depth on all of them. So if I'm doing like engraving, I'll run this one here, a single flute. I'll engrave with it. You know, I got my router set up. I use the auto tool changer, so it'll stop, wait for me to change bit, then I just hit start, and all I gotta do is slide it into that same depth ring, and I'm at the same cutting depth as I was, you know, previously. So for me, that works out really nice. I'll put a link to the, you know, what bits I'm running and where I'm getting them in the description below. So anyway, that's the bit I'm using. Vacuum hold down table. Let me get set up here, and we'll show us cutting. So that was in real time. It's cutting about 6 inches a minute. I was doing one pass on it. Vacuum table, held it all in place. And when you get the speeds and feeds figured out, it cuts really nice. It's just a matter of brushing the shavings off of it. And you end up with these really nice clean edges. But let me get this cleaned up and I'll show you what we end up with. Okay, here it is all cleaned up. I got the protective film removed. All I do is just brush away the shavings. I mean, there's no other cleanup involved. It just comes out, really clean. If you can see that edge, it works out really well. So again, I was cutting 60 inches a minute, 130 thousandths deep. The material's 125, so that's one of the important steps, is to go all the way through. Use your spoil board, go ahead and let it cut all the way through it. You can always just skim this off, I've probably done, 50 or 60 cuts on this one and about ready to skim it. So I ended up with those speeds and feeds. I was using CNC cookbook. He's got a calculator out. He's got a trial version on his website. I mean, I highly encourage you to go just download the free version and play with it, I typed in, you build your machine profile pretty easy. I just told it I had a CNC router. I told it, what router I'm using, how many horsepower. And then type in what size bit you're cutting with. I typed in 25,000. That's my max RPM on this router. And he's got a big old selection of materials. You pick whatever material you use, and then you can sit there and play with it, and try just typing in different depths, different speeds and beads. And I knew I wanted to cut all the way through it because I was having problems trying to do 2 passes. It would fuzz it up terrible. So I knew I wanted to go all the way through. So I typed in 130 thousandths, that 1/16th bit. I figured there's no way, but it came back and said 60 inches a minute at 25,000 RPM. So I said, all right, I tried it. I typed it in. I did my initial cut, crossed my fingers, hope for the best, and that's how it turned out. So again, pretty impressive. I have no affiliation with him other than the fact that I like his software. It's really, really helpful for me. That's one of my first stops now. Anytime I'm trying a new material, a new bit, as I go in there and type, play with that first. I'm using Precise Bits. I'll put a link in below, for a link to his site. Real helpful. I called him, talked to him on the phone a few times. He's real helpful, very knowledgeable guy. He's more than willing to talk to you. He's on the phone with me 15-20 minutes, talking about different bits and materials. So again, no affiliation, just very helpful, very friendly setup he's got going on. So I'm actually gonna do a part 2 on Max Metal. I'm gonna do another video on engraving, because that's a whole nother animal. I tried this here to start with using a V-bit, and I tried all kind of different stuff, and you end up with those metal shavings getting ingrained in that polyethylene, so that in there, it looks horrible. So I tried a different setup, different bits, and I ended up being able to do this. I don't know if you can make it out in the video, but it's real clean, real nice flat bottom. So I'm gonna do part 2 of this on engraving Max Metal. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Any suggestions, give me a shout. Any comments, feel free. And hopefully that'll help somebody else. Okay, thanks.